Previously on LA Shrinks.
A lot of people think therapists live these perfect lives without any problems. We would like to create our intimacy together before we have kids. If you're saying, I want sex,
I'm demanding it?
yes, this is what's happening. You want to get laid, right? We're human beings. They're all yours. You, dominatrix. You, sub. We are going to a sex shop, and we are going to play dress up.
Everybody's up in their own personal way. Kevin and I would like to get married.
To each other?
My husband and I first went into Hustler incognito because nobody has sex with toys. Now we kind of walk in and we know everybody there.
Hi, Dr. V. How are you?
Good, how are you doing, babe?
Good. You look great.
You look gorgeous.
Awesome to see you. What brings you in today?
I have couple.
Okay.
She's a dominatrix. He's a submissive. I want them to embrace their roles. They're going to be coming in today.
Awesome.
Help me make that happen.
Okay.
Georgie and Michael came to me with sexual compatibility issues, but it's really not that at all. It's sexual self-awareness.
This little outfit is so hot. The corset's in the back, and then the bra would be right underneath.
Through the process of discovery, it had come to all of our attention that this was a couple that enjoys role-playing.
We actually just got a bunch of new items.
See this one here? I love this.
I love that one.
If we can convince them to get in it, it would seem only common sense that if they're enjoying role play, to build on that, to build on what is going well for them in their sexual life. It's considered doing what's necessary to help people.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Could you imagine me wearing something like that? Hey guys.
Hey.
Come on over.
Hey, how are you?
So here we have your dominatrix outfit with your chastity belt.
Oh my god.
And this
That is
is,
crazy.
Michael, your submissive outfit. I know it's shocking. Take a deep breath.
Really?
He's gonna wear this.
Yeah, don't worry about it. And you know what?
We're just playing.
I'm
Yeah,
nervous.
we're just
I know.
I gotta tell you, I'm
It's
nervous about
okay.
Can you take my
We're
phone
gonna spank you.
back to his dressing room and put this on?
And
this
this on right now?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you.
Right now?
I'm gonna tell you.
Oh, yeah, we don't waste time.
That's not gonna fit.
We'll
I'm
figure it
telling you
out.
right now. There's no way in hell.
We're gonna
that is
figure it
gonna
out.
fit.
We're gonna figure
We'll
it out.
adjust it.
We'll
Oh my
adjust
gosh.
it.
This is like borderline deal breaker.
Don't worry. I'm not surprised that Michael feels uncomfortable. It's socially and culturally taboo for men to be seen as sexually submissive. Now, Georgie, I have something great for you.
Okay, what?
I picked out a chastity belt for Georgie because she wants to be in charge of when she's touched. Okay, you want to be in charge of that? Don't bitch about it. Be in charge of that. Okay, you guys ready? 3, 2, 1.
Well, let's talk about what brought you in today.
I really detest fat people.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, think about this. Wealthy fat people. Say Oprah.
Yes.
Or Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah, they're both
If you
large.
think about how they would spend money on beautiful houses and all that, and the body that's your temple, you don't really take care of that. You feed yourself garbage. It's like drugs to me. They should be prosecuted.
So you see it as a drug, and you see them as needing prosecution, even someone like Oprah.
Even someone like Oprah.
Okay. So tell me more about this.
Well, it really bothers me when I see a lot of these people eat a lot in restaurants, and it just drives me crazy. I was at a restaurant, and this guy was buying a bucket of chicken, like fried chicken, and it just freaked me out. And before he walked out of the restaurant, he was eating.
He started eating
Right.
the bucket.
It really pissed me off.
So that particular incident,
That's when I noticed it was really affecting me.
and how does it affect you?
Made me really angry.
So it's not even like you have a clear head about it. You just get
Just
very
really angry, and I feel like approaching the person.
But what would you say to a fat person if you did get very angry? What are you afraid you might say?
They're pigs.
You're a pig.
Yeah.
I think this issue is tough for me because I used to be heavier. Most people, when people shame them about their weight, what do you think their normal response is?
Are you going to tell me that they eat more?
That's exactly right.
I don't think so.
When I see people express a prejudice, I know what it's like to be on the other end of that prejudice. That may be one of the greatest gifts that being gay gave to me, is understanding prejudice. If somebody tells you you're a what is the feeling you have?
If I tell someone that they're fat and nasty and
No, but if
I
someone
think,
tells you, yeah, you think that that'll actually help them.
yeah.
And
I
so
think
I
so.
see you're coming from a caring place by saying you're a fat pig, and then they'll actually stop
I
eating.
think you
That's
should.
the
I
vision.
think you should do this, and I think you should do that. You should,
And they're going to listen to you because
because I mean they see that I'm healthy.
so they look at you and go, this guy knows his.
That's what I'm thinking.
So just coming in here, you didn't know what I would look like.
I actually thought you would be fat.
Did I sound fat on the phone?
Kind of.
So I kind of have a fat voice.
A fat voice, yeah,
What if I was fat? Would you have walked out?
definitely. Thank God you're not.
I don't buy for a second that a prejudice just comes from nowhere. There's a history to why that prejudice is there. It may be from his family or from society or from some other place. I don't know. But it's important for me to find out where that came from so I can start to work with him. I really need to tap into your anger. I really need to understand it. So I want you to go to a fast food restaurant.
For real?
And I want you to bring a pad of paper, and I want you to seek out the largest person you can find. Look at that person. Really allow the anger to come into you and just write down your thoughts.
So I gotta go wherever it is, build that anger, and then we could deal with it.
That's exactly right.
You guys ready? Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh. Wow, holy mackerel. Well, how do you feel? I definitely feel very sexy.
I mean, that's hot, babe.
Thank you. That outfit put her in her sense of power. It really helped her feel, okay, I'm in charge, I'm the boss. Is this something you think that you would incorporate into your role play? Yes, honey. Would you? You really like that.
I think that's hot for her.
How do you feel in your outfit?
Look at me and look at her. Do I look in control right now?
Yes, you do. You don't understand. As a sub, you have most of the power because you have to give her permission. Otherwise, it doesn't happen. Georgie really likes to take control, and you enjoy that when she takes control. It's in men to be sexually dominant, but it's also praised in our society. It's not praised for a woman. Georgie was having a very uncomfortable time recognizing that she likes to be the boss. And what she was trying to do was make Michael the boss in their sexual relationship. And he's not the boss. She is. So it's a perfect example of embracing our authentic selves and stepping out of what is socially acceptable, especially in the bedroom. You might really like having this tugged on, and you might enjoy it.
Can I borrow this for me?
Yeah, for sure.
Can I just see?
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Wait, I just
Well,
wanna see.
you're the dominatrix, so I know
you should have given it to me.
So you have to be careful of those things.
You're right, I can't take control.
The whole point of the exercise is that the two of you do really, really well with play. And I wanted to just take that little extra step in helping you to embrace the roles that you've already created for yourselves.
Right.
Instead of fighting with those things. You may know sex in general is something that we as a culture are very afraid to talk about. Imagine how much freer we all could be if we could talk about our sexual desires and fantasies. We need to develop a sexual language, a cultural sexual language that isn't based on judgment. So it's just a matter of feeling comfortable and opening up the doors to some sexual freedom and playing. So let's get undressed. Coming up, either you understand that Jude is truly born gay, or you're never going to have a relationship with him. Is that what you want? I had this surgery with my breast. I am still really insecure. Do you want to do something else fun?
Oh, God. Do I even want to hear the rest of this?
Well, I have an idea.
I'm sure you did. Oh, go ahead, spill.
I want to go see a sex therapist. Would you do that? This is really testing my patience right now because our sex life has not been great lately. I'm ready to have a baby. He's not ready to have a baby yet. It's only going to make our relationship better. I'm desperate to fix this problem. I don't think we need couples therapy. I want to explore some things that we haven't tried. I've done aphrodisiac dinners. I've done tantric sex. All I can do is do everything in my ability to help us get on the same page.
Sex therapy is like, it's almost like a fringe science. I just know there's some crazies out there, and we are dealing with the world of sex, so I don't want to be doing stuff that's, crazy.
I don't know if she's crazy, but I do know she's knowledgeable. And look, I'm going to just try and take the best out of the situation. Let's just give it a try. I believe that every therapist should see another therapist. So if my sex life is not happening right now, and if somebody else can help make it better, then why not?
But I'm telling you that in this world we're delving in, there are people that are not what I'm going to enjoy or like. And so as long as you're cool with me leaving if I feel uncomfortable with it, or if I'm just not into it, then I'm cool going. But I just, if it gets weird,
It's not going to be weird.
Famous last words.
Yeah, nice shooting, baby. All right, quit hogging the ball. Let's go. Shoot it. Oh! Come on, we used to play this in Philly. Let's go. Put it up there. Come on, Kobe. Yeah! All right, everybody gets a shot. Hurry up. Oh!
Dad came from Philadelphia. Hadn't been on a plane in 10 years. Terrified. I actually didn't think he was coming. And he got on a plane to come and help me take care of these poor boys. Matthew's business often takes him out of town. So I felt as though the boys needed another male figure in the house.
Duncan, hang on. Hang on. He's got it, fans.
Settled in, Dad?
Hey, how you doing, Dean?
I just came from dropping all the boys off at school. The get-up is really hot. Sexy. That wife beater?
Well, they don't wear these in L.A. I haven't seen
No,
one yet.
they don't.
Sitting here enjoying myself, having a drink. Look at this beautiful compound I'm in. You came in from a South Philly, baby. What the hell are you talking about?
I am part of a very large family that had very little money. We were just above the poverty line.
My little girl went a long way. She's a doctor. You came from Philly, and now you're in Bel Air. We're really proud of you.
I appreciate that, Dad. But that's because I saw that kind of dedication. My father was a mechanic, worked 2 jobs, 5 children. All my father knows is family and work. I have a philosophy to life that I adopted from my father. He told me when I was very, very young, there are 3 things you need in life. Something to do, something to love, and something to look forward to. Whenever I'm unhappy, I'm not doing one of those things. And I adopt that as Dr. V's special sauce.
The boys will be fine. I'll take care of them, I promise.
I love you, Dad.
I love you too, darling. Give me a kiss. I'm the new Prince of Bel Air.
Wake up. Straighten up. Just sit up. I know. So you can sit up.
The number one issue in marriage therapy clinics today is the decline of sex after children. So many things can happen when one partner's needs aren't being met. They can have an affair, one person can leave the relationship, come on back. It just can really take a marriage apart. How are you guys? okay?
A little tired.
Little tired.
Yeah.
Was it a long night for you again?
Yeah. I got home at 2 in the morning.
You know, where he works, I'm sure he sees hot women constantly, and, you know, don't look at me strange, because I'm sure you do, so, not that I'm saying you're cheating on me. It's the reason why you're not coming after me.
Kimberly's needs aren't being met, and Neil has this job in this fancy bar, and he's getting attention from different women, and of course, it's feeding into her insecurity.
I'm ready to put a stripper pole in the middle of our living room, and
This is what's going on. So she's thinking, if my husband's not giving me attention, I'm about to go get a stripper pole and put it in the living room. Maybe he'll pay attention to me. But that's what your wife is saying, and you're laughing.
The stripper pole comment was funny to me. I'm sad.
But it's really not funny, because she needs something from you so badly that she's not getting. Let's just say that you continued on this path and she met another man, you know, and had an affair to get her emotional and physical needs met. You barely had a reaction to that when I said that.
I do trust my wife in that aspect. I don't look at her trying to move on to somebody else.
Have you ever entertained in your mind to have an affair? Coming up.
I thought about being gay. I thought about kissing a guy, and I wanted to throw up.
This is Jason. I met him in Cancun.
So tell me again exactly where you met Jason. 'Cause I don't remember him in Cancun.
Have you ever entertained in your mind to have an affair?
no. Just because I had a really bad experience when I was younger with that whole thing. It was really horrible, and I said I would never do that again. I can't do this. This is so tough.
Kimberly, it's
I
okay.
can't do this.
Kimberly, it's okay. Go there, because this is where the healing is.
I just don't want to do this anymore. I can't do this. Oh, God, I just want to walk right out. I just want to go.
Kimberly, it's okay.
It's just feeling like you exist, you know? I just want to be appreciated. That's just all I've ever wanted in my life.
Did you not get it when you were a little girl?
My mom was quite young when she had me. She was really young. She was like 17. And I didn't have a dad around.
And you weren't seen. You weren't heard. And now the same thing is happening in your relationship, where you're not seen and you're not heard and your emotional needs aren't being met. And then you're trying so hard to get the attention.
I guess that's the reason why I'm being controlling.
You were just frustrated. That's what that's about.
Yeah.
People are wounded from their childhood, and if they haven't worked those issues out from their childhood, their inner child starts acting out in their adulthood, and that's when their crazy might come out. Here's the thing. Yes, he needs to step up, for sure. But I think it's more realizing you have to love yourself before Neil can love you.
You know, I never looked at it that way. You really think that you know something. You don't.
If you haven't solved those childhood issues within yourself, then you're not going to be able to have a happy relationship with yourself. And if you can't have a happy relationship with yourself, you can't have a happy love relationship. It just doesn't work.
Sorry, babe.
It's okay.
How is that for you to hear this?
It's a bit eye-opening. It makes me look at it different. So I think I understand you a little bit more.
This is a huge revelation for you guys. This is really big to be able to know this now about your relationship. The vulnerability is coming through, and it makes him want to touch you. Do you see this? I mean, he's reaching over to you, just showing how much he loves you.
Jason, hey,
Greg, what's
how
up?
you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
It's just good to see you
You
again.
too. If you're hungry.
Go on into the kitchen.
All right.
You can set up right in here. Kevin?
Yeah, honey.
This is Jason. I met him in Cancun. He's the private chef.
Hi, Jason.
Hi, Kevin. Good to meet you.
I'm having dinner with my sisters, who I haven't seen in a long time. I'm telling them I'm getting married, and I'm also telling them that my father's going to be there, so it's very nerve-wracking. So I've hired a chef so that we wouldn't have to attend to any of those details, and he's amazing. You guys get ready. I have to go get dressed, so we'll see you in a few minutes.
Sounds good. So you met Greg in Cancun?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So tell me again exactly where you met Jason. I don't remember him in Cancun.
No, he was there.
Really?
Yeah.
How did I not meet him?
I don't know. I think you were snorkeling at the time. I guess I was just hanging out on the beach. But I found out he was a private chef and he lived in L.A., so I just got his contact information.
And he looks really young. How old is he?
I think he's 29.
Well, that's pretty young.
Getting married won't change our monogamous relationship. That's what works for us, so I don't see it changing anytime soon.
I will go down again and get his story. How's that?
Okay.
When was the last time you were intimate? Last night. Okay, good. And from 1 to 10, how good was it? You go first, Eris. Last night? Last night. A 0. And for you, Clayton, how good was it?
Pretty much a 0 last night.
We've been together for 7.5 years, and we work 16 hours a day. We're both exhausted. We moved into a brand new house. We had a remodel. All of these things that are happening add up, and we're not having sex.
So what I have here for you is my passion wheel. And there are 12 sections in my passion wheel that I want you to fill in with some activities that you are going to do every single day.
Going to a sex therapist is definitely something I wanted to explore because I thought it would be a great opportunity for Clayton and I to discover something that we maybe haven't discovered before.
These are activities that are going to continue to rekindle the passion. They can be emotional, they can be sensual, romantic, downright XXX rated. And I will give you a little clue by showing you one of mine, just so that you get some good ideas that
I got one on there that I like.
Okay, Clayton seems like he's ready to go with his favorites. So go ahead and write one activity. What did you write down?
Bathing.
Bathing.
It's so easy to be intimate. You're already naked. You're already physically touching one another, you know.
I mean, I have to be honest, and that's something for me that I have to work through, you know?
So let's talk about that. What is making you uncomfortable about it? Is it too much pressure to have?
It's not that big a deal.
But to me, it's a big deal. Because I had this surgery with my breast, and I am still really insecure.
It's very hard on
Yeah,
I understand.
I suffered from an eating disorder and body dysmorphia when I was younger. And so I got the implants because I thought maybe I'll feel sexier. Maybe men will think I'm sexier. That will make me feel better. But I never admitted to anybody that I had implants. It wasn't something I was ever proud of. I hid them. And a decade after that, I got an infection in my breast. I had a surgery where a surgeon messed up. And I woke up in the middle of surgery, and he had a liposuction machine in my breast and took breast tissue out. You know, it's like that's very violating for a woman. For the past 4 years, I've had a deformed breast. Every time I look at myself in the mirror naked, I'm being reminded of that experience. And it hurts. So for me to just stand in a shower with lopsided breasts, it's not sexy. It's not very vulnerable and uncomfortable for me, right? It just is. You know, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
In therapy, people come with a presenting problem, and then you realize that there's so many other things that are actually going on. The past few years, it's been so, disconnected for me. It's like I almost have to disassociate.
I don't think you realize how much that experience has affected our sex life.
Oh, I do know. I can't be pushy with her like that because, you know, this is something that you can see. It affects her so deeply. So I've had to kind of go and accept the fact that she's uncomfortable, but I just want her to be happy. So then what do you do?
Emotions just came over me because they were stuffed so deep within my subconscious that when Clayton mentioned the shower, automatically my insecurities came up, that I didn't want to be that vulnerable because I still had to hide myself because I was so ashamed of what happened. I want to get it fixed. I feel like surgery is definitely my next option. And for me, it's in my mind battling, do I do it before I have kids or after I have kids? That's why I've waited this many years. I've already had an infection before, so if I'm going to choose to put another foreign object in my body, then I don't know how that's going to affect the child in me. Now, I mean, as I'm processing it in my head, it's like I don't want to burden him and like always talk about it. But then, when you don't, exactly. Then
So he wants you to talk about it, and it's not a burden to him.
Even though Clayton's there for me and he doesn't judge me for what happened, it's not about Clayton, it's about me. It's what's happening within me and my own self-esteem and my insecurities and how that affected my sex life.
I know that you can get through it. I just know that you can. Coming up.
Why do you want Dad at the wedding?
He's an ass.
If you get some vagina, you might turn straight. We haven't even tried that out.
We live in a very puritanical society that tells men and women, particularly women, they're bad if they enjoy sex. But you know what? 99% of humanity's problems could be solved if we all were having sex more. And that doesn't even mean you need to have a partner. We should be able to enjoy our bodies and feel good about our bodies without shame, without guilt. What brings you here?
I'm going to start this one. I'm here for Jude. I'm here to support him.
That's very noble of
Yeah.
you, but
Yeah. He thinks I need help with whatever.
yeah, what does Jude need help with?
Yeah. Ever since he's come out the closet doing those backflips, I just feel like I can't follow him. Usually gay guys, they just come out the closet, you know. Like this guy's doing backflips out, you know, he's just out there.
So, Jude, you're gay,
Yeah.
and you're straight.
Yes.
Jacob, I want you to finish the sentence. When you came out, I felt
Jude, when you came out, I was pissed off, upset.
angry.
I wanted to drop kick you and throw you out the car. On the freeway. You're like you're driving. And the reason why I felt like that is because you didn't tell me first. Yeah. That's why I was pissed off.
I just wonder what it's like for you, for your twin brother, to be gay.
People that, you know, they automatically think I'm gay and we're identical twins, so we're both supposed to be gay.
Jacob and Jude are identical twins. A professor out of Northwestern University did some amazing research on how connected sexuality is to genetics. I feel that on your side, you have some serious judgments about Jude and about yourself.
That's not true. I'm going to say that's openly
Okay.
not true.
The fact that you are so willing to say that's not true makes me feel that it is.
And she's...
So I just want you to...
I don't believe that. I don't
of
believe
course
that.
you won't
I
believe
can't
it.
believe that.
You can't believe that. It's impossible that you'd possibly have judgments about Jude's sexuality or yourself. The closer we get to the actual genetic code in terms of DNA, the more alike brothers are sexually. You know what, Jacob? I'm going to call out your game. I think that in order for you to feel separated from Jude and not be associated with his gayness, you pump up all your masculinity, and I think that's bull.
Yeah, that is bullshit, what you just said. That's not true.
That's true. You wouldn't even play Dance Dance Revolution with us last night because you thought it was too gay.
It's no surprise to me that Jacob, Jude's clone, is concerned about his own sexuality to the point of homophobia.
You can't say I want to do that macho. That sounds like one of those guys that are really gay and they're acting straight and trying to kiss girls and
Do you
know.
see what I'm saying? Any
that-
reference that
that-
you could
but
possibly make into being gay,
But that's what
you
you're
get
trying to
overwhelmed by.
That's what you're trying to make me sound like, though.
When you bring up his sexuality, you feel like you're off the hook. That it's Jude's problem.
You're wrong. If you get some vagina, you might turn straight. We haven't even tried that out before.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
If you go down on a guy,
Well, let me
it's
ask
not
this.
going to happen.
Jacob, Jude.
We both contribute to our negative relationship. Actually, I'm a positive person. Like, I'm all God's negative to me. Shut up. I am the one who's positive, and I will be negative because he's a negative person.
You know what? Let me tell you.
No.
Let
Yes.
Me,
No. Yes.
Jude,
No.
Jacob, it doesn't matter to me one iota if you're positive or negative. Don't give a shit.
With one of us.
Don't care.
Yeah, you're gonna have to side with
And
me.
I'm not going to side with
Yes,
either of
you
you.
will.
I'm really not.
You will by then. You're
Is
gonna
that
have
the
to.
goal? Is to get me to side with one
You're
of
gonna have to.
you?
You're gonna have to.
Why?
Smart,
Why?
beautiful, and because yeah, and you know who the crazy one is. And we know
I think you're both crazy.
Okay, but if there's a winner, yeah, exactly. If there's a winner, then we'll know how to fix the problem. If you pick a winner, like, oh damn, you're right, you won. I'll fix the problem. But until we get, that's why that's what referees do.
Okay, both
they
of you are a
decide a
bunch of
game.
catty bitches. Because let me tell you, there is no sides. There's no sides to this.
I'm relieved that I've told my father about Kevin and I getting married, and now I have to tell my sisters. And I'm concerned because they're from the same conservative stock, but I'm very hopeful they'll be embracing. What I'm more nervous about with them is just the fact of telling them that my father's going to be there. To family.
Family, let's go.
Oh,
wow, look at that. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Not this way.
More wine?
Yes, please.
This wine. Actually, may I have some too, please? Oh, sure. You know what, you guys? Your brother has something to tell you.
Oh my God.
Kevin and I are getting married.
Really? About time! Jeez! How took you so long? Man, what are we doing?
3 years.
Man, was that long?
Have you told anybody else?
You know, we've actually met with Dad. And
How'd it go?
there's part of me that really struggled because after that meeting I had nightmares the next 3 nights. It was
so
really
sorry.
bad. I think it just brought up a lot of old stuff.
A lot of old stuff, yeah.
And I think part of the stuff it brought up...
I might be
and-
getting emotional here. Sorry, it's okay. It's okay, sweetie. You know, we understand. Have some wine. Here, have some wine.
I think part of the stuff it brought up for me was just that he didn't acknowledge what happened, what we went through as kids, and he didn't...
And he never will.
My sisters experienced some of the same physical abuse that I did. It could happen at any time for any reason. It's been several years since my sisters have even spoken with my father. I remember once we were all in the van and going by Laguna Beach, and I remember him stopping the van, and some people we assume were gay were running across the street, and they were wearing Speedos, and he rolled down the window and was yelling, "F-." And everybody in the car, and I hate to say it, you guys, but everybody in the car was saying, "Look at the f-." And I remember sitting in the back going, oh, they're talking about me.
Jude, can you say to Jacob, when I came out to you, I felt? Can you finish that?
Jacob, when I came out to you, I felt like I was gonna die. Dude, why'd you feel like you gotta die? Why'd you feel like you had to die? Oh God, this sure didn't give a when you told everybody but me. You have to think about. You told everybody but me. Okay. Yeah. You don't understand what it's like to be gay. First of all, I definitely earned the right to come out of the closet.
You earn the right. What does that mean?
I guess you have to go through the rain to get a rainbow.
Give me an example of some of the rain.
I remember my grandma told me before she passed away. She's like, "I'll love you always as long as you're not two things, gay." And she said something else, but I just remember being gay. I was just like, huh. Okay.
That's tough. When you hear about Jude's reign, what goes through your mind?
I thought about being gay. I thought about kissing a guy, and I wanted to throw up. That's the way it was.
Okay.
I was over it ASAP. So.
Okay. So you feel that Jude is choosing this lifestyle?
Yes. Anybody has a choice to do what they want. Everybody has a choice to be gay or straight. You have a choice to do anything you want. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah.
Were you born straight?
Yes. But I can have a choice if I want to go date gay guys if I really want to.
You think?
Yeah, if I really wanted to.
Do you really believe that?
Yes, what do you think guys in jails do? The guys like, oh my gosh, I can't get vagina no more. I'm about to do this guy right here.
You're not under that environmental stress, so stop. You're not in prison. Being an identical twin and having your twin perhaps be everything you might fear is a crazy-making place to be. How do you separate from your identical gene? How? Do you run away from yourself? How is that possible? I'm going to tell you the choice you have. Either you understand that Jude is truly born gay, or you're never going to have a relationship with him. Is that what you want? Coming up.
Oh, believe me, you didn't say no, you didn't disagree. You'd get a backhand upside your head.
How could Dad treat his children that way?
I apologize if I ever said anything negative. I obviously, if I said anything, I was just mimicking what was going on.
It's
around
exactly what was going on. Everyone just mimicked him.
Yeah,
and
that's
when you did, you got along well.
To get along, you had to at least pretend, if not agree with, whatever was going. I mean, oh, believe me, you didn't say no, you didn't disagree. You'd get a backhand upside your head if you tried to say anything
to survive.
Yeah, if you tried.
How could Dad treat his children that way? I just wanted to have that dad to look up to, and,
When you're a child and you see your siblings get it, of course that's horrific. But the very dark secret is you're saying a very silent, thank God it's not happening to me right now. People who are like that, people who abuse their own children, it's just a way to survive. I don't think they can survive if they recognize what they were really doing. It's difficult for all of us to really go there and talk about that time in our lives, but I think it's very bonding because we're putting a lot of stuff on the table and being able to talk to each other in a way that we've not talked about things in maybe ever. And what we wanted to do was just to tell you about the wedding, and also wanted to talk to you about him possibly coming.
That's going to be a problem.
Yeah,
that's going to be a big problem for me.
Why do you want Dad at the wedding? Why? Are you still, he's an app.
I think there was part of me that just wanted us all to be together. And I guess I want him to change.
He's never going to change, which we've all known. That's why we've all stayed away.
Been the same.
But if we're forced to be in the environment with him, that we're all going to have to.
Inviting my dad will make my sisters emotionally uncomfortable. And one thing as a therapist I know, it's good to be emotionally uncomfortable now and then, but it's not something I necessarily want at my wedding.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's tough. I think it's just a tough issue to deal with. I mean, just even talking about it now, I'm having second thoughts.
Come on, Dean.
Does this really turn you on?
Mothers, I'd like to
Next on LA Shrinks. Take this off of me. Goodbye. The end.
I don't think I'm bullying people. I'm not seeing that.
What would it be like to experience Jude's world closer? Here is a mirror. I want you to look at your vagina.
Are you serious? Really?
Try. She's really beautiful. You said that he was judging your vagina. No, he's not.
I'm judging my vagina.
You are.
I know that.
I want you to look at her. She's really beautiful.